Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So today's video is a review of the Yorkville YSM5s. Now these are monitor biamp powered speakers. So they're not super high wattage. They're not as poundy as the YSM8s I used to have. But you got 35 watts of power going to the main woofers and 15 watts going to the tweeters, at least according to the tags and the specs. So I got these at Long McQuaid. They're used, which is fine by me. I don't mind buying used gear. And I save a lot of money because they're only $159 a piece. So that was awesome. But nonetheless, they're in really awesome condition. You've got basically your high frequency dial on the back, as well as your level, your input level control. And I've got mine set at about 3 o'clock on the dial on each one. This way I get a lot of power output as I need it. And they are plugged in directly to my Focusrite box. Now I used to run the YM8s right off of my mixing board, and I'm learning more and more as I go about running my own studio equipment with what I like to call more modernized equipment, right? I've been running mixing gear since I was about probably 15 years old. Of course back then it was kind of like cobble stuff together, stereo equipment, cheap Radio Shack mixers, etc., etc. And so now I've got a lot better equipment nowadays. And there's always stuff to learn about too, which we didn't know then. And through also watching a lot of videos, you learn a lot too about how to do mixes and, you know, that sort of thing, right? And these have the sound quality output that you're going to need for being able to listen to your playback properly for the different frequency ranges and stuff, right? That you need to be able to hear to know if you've got too much bass or not enough, or too much mids or trebles or not enough, etc., etc. Okay. Now I like Yorkville products because they're really awesome products. They're just, I don't know, there's something about them. I mean, I've looked into other powered biamp speakers like your Mackeys, the Rockets, and many other brands. These seem to be the best bang for the buck. You know, especially for a home studio setup. May work out for you in a pro situation, but you'd probably want, you know, like the YSM8s, a lot more output for wattage capability, bigger drivers, you know, etc., etc. But for a home studio, more than adequate for these, for sure. So I'm not going to say, yeah, that'd be awesome in a pro studio, because I can't really say that. But for in here, certainly, the sound reproduction is way better than I was even getting with my Paradigm speakers, you know, that are hooked into my stereo. And of course, stereos have different frequencies, and there's a lot of stuff I can't adjust on there. But through programs and stuff, and having them hooked up even through the Focusrite box, where before, like I said, the YSM8s were hooked right to my mixing board, these are going through the Focusrite. So the mixing board actually is putting an output signal to the input of the Focusrite, and its secondary input, output is actually going to my in-ear monitor system, and then I'm using the record outs to feed everything from the mixer into the stereo. So when I want to listen to a final mix, I listen to it on the home stereo, with home stereo speakers obviously, and that's going to tell me what people would be able to hear or will hear when they're listening to something that's finally mixed. That would be the final mix reproduction, and that's where there's going to be a difference in going, okay, maybe I need to go back and reduce just a little bit more of this and add a little bit more of that, because that's when you're going to get that sort of a sound. So why wouldn't you do that right away? Well, because you don't. It's just not how things are done, right? And everybody's going to have different speakers too, but you'll be able to hear to your own ears through your playback through a home stereo setup what it's generally going to be like, and if you really like it, get a few of your friends over and see what they think, right? And if they really like it, try that file in their car, see what it's like, because a car audio system is going to be different too. And then you're going to hear differences there. And you might actually be able to pick out if you actually should be reducing just a hair more bass, because sometimes less is more. Same as your mids and trebles. So anyways, I want to give you a little bit of a demo, and this is one that I recorded and mixed myself, and it's one of my own songs. And it's just vocals and guitar.
All creation cries out. All creation cries out for a Savior. All creation cries out. Break the chains and let us be free. Break the chains and let us be free. Break the chains and let.
So, like playing guitar regularly, your vocals do have to go above the guitar, but you still got to be able to hear the guitar so you don't drown it out. So I think my mix on this actually went really well. I'd really like to be able to add in some drums to this and improve this song even more. So it's kind of nice just having the one instrument, but I'd like to add more to it. This is another file I did. I call it Rustler. It's one that I put together for actually an RC video for background music. So in this piece you've got drums going on and you've got electric guitar. And of course your guitar has to get over top the drums, and you still got to be able to hear both clearly. Okay, so that's just two little samples of what I've put together in here. You know, and the playback is just really amazing. You know, even for room acoustics and everything, it's dampened enough in here that it's not echoey all over the place, and you know, which is good. You don't want that. You don't want piles of echo going on. You know, just a little hint is fine. You know, but it gives you a bit of a ballpark, I guess, on the sound of these. Now, I am recording this on a camcorder. Not miking these things up, and it's just more trouble than it's worth to do that. And besides which, your playback sound gets compressed on YouTube videos, and of course, what kind of speakers people have on their own computers or devices is going to depend a lot too on what they're going to hear. So it's kind of one of those things where you're going to get a ballpark either way, and then you decide upon that. For myself, I will say that the YSM5 speakers are really great for the money, whether they're used and you're getting a great deal that way like I did, or you're buying them brand new. The 5s are awesome in a in-house studio like what I have. You know, this room is 4, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, but 10 by 11, 11 by 10 is about what I got in here. And so I think that these work actually quite exceptionally well. They're definitely not overkill. Thinking back to the YSM8s, as much as I love them, they were actually overkill, and they're big too, right? Like, they were like the Paradigm speakers, actually a little bit wider. But you know, these are a perfect size speaker for an in-house studio, you know. But even just listening to playback, I have things set up on my computer so that not only do I have the input from the mixer going into these, I've also got it going through my Mac Sound for watching videos with, and whatever video games I want to play on my computer. All my sound goes through here, so I was even able to get rid of my main computer speakers that I was using, you know. So they're no longer here. For those of you who remember seeing them, like, hey, where'd those speakers go? They're gone. They're off the system. Actually, I put them up for sale. because I don't need them anymore now that I have the YSM8s going through everything. And I gotta tell you, when it comes to playing video games with these things, they're awesome. So the sound reproduction, even for that alone, is like outstanding, right? But even watching YouTube videos, I now get a more clearer picture of the sound of a piece of gear I'm listening to. So if I'm interested in an amp or an effect pedal, even though I know that video has been compressed, and if it came from a company, it's likely been manipulated on a higher level to make it sound better than it was. This is why I go to private YouTube channels more and trust them than I do company videos. You know, I'll get a sound reproduction that's very close to what's actually happening. And so this gives me a better way of judging. So there's no harm in having a set of these things in place of even regular computer speakers, especially if you're a gearhead and you're looking for, you know, new toys for your own home studio or man cave, whatever, woman cave. You know, I got to include the women there because we do have a lot of women guitar players and, well, bass players, drummers, you know, just like us guys. You know, women are doing the same thing. So, you know, these give you a more well-rounded sound quality response of what's going on. So it makes it easier to judge, well, it sounds pretty good, you know, and then you can hem and haw for a while and then figure it out for yourself if you want to buy that new piece of gear. Or at least go try it out first, or rent it if you can, whatever. I like renting stuff the odd time, especially if it's going to be a big purchase. With the exception of my Katana Mark II, I just bought it outright. It's not on the rental list, so figure, well, I had a Katana Mark I, it was great. Mark II is, of course, even better because it's got more toys and bells and whistles and stuff. And it actually does have a different sound to it as well. But that'll be coming up too, more on that one. But these speakers, certainly, if this is the sort of thing you're into and you're looking at an option for your home studio or jam area, whatever, these things are great for being able to get a really nicely balanced mix before you, you know, mix it down and finalize it, whatever. You're definitely going to be able to know where you need to tweak or not tweak for your sound, you know, and that's easy stuff to manipulate, especially if you're doing all separate tracks, which I'm actually going to start getting into separate tracks, you know, and trying that out. But I'm still going to do my own regular normal thing, and that's the 5 million setups, and then do the final cut once I'm happy, and then I can do it all in one file. But some things I have to actually do separate tracks with, and it's not an option. But anyway, so thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. As far as the star rating goes on these, I have no issues with putting these things at 4 out of 5. I could push it as high as 4.5 out of 5, and I think we're still doing good. But the price is definitely right for used. Brand new, definitely a great price too. Now, you do not buy these in pairs when you're talking monitor speakers that are powered. You buy them as singles. You know, so you got to buy 2 if you want the whole stereo thing. And I kind of have to have the 2 because I need to be able to hear both sides and balance and all that stuff. So, you know, it was $159 each. So we're talking, what, 160 and 160 is $320 plus tax. Now that's Canadian dollars. And like I said, that was Long McQuaid. So also look for the link in the description box below. So if you are in Canada and you want to check out new stuff on their website or whatever, go in store. I think they got used stuff on the website too, so you can always check those and see what they got kicking around. Call up your local store or whatever. So if you're in Canada, the link will be there. And they have stores all across the country, so hey, you got a lot of choices. If you're not in Canada, Amazon or your local music store that carries Yorkville products, it's another option for you there too. In the meantime, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.